Hey there, welcome back to Limabean Crafting. In today's video, I will be showing you how I made this fall welcome sign for about $5 to $6 worth of Dollar Tree products. So let's get to it. For this project, I picked up a pizza pan, decorative nautical rope, a 3-pack of mini clip-on pumpkins, wood grain contact paper, clear contact paper, and a fall-themed garland from the Dollar Tree, along with some florals, pine cones, and cricket vinyl that I had on hand. The first thing I did was plan what I wanted my sign to look like on Cricut Design Space. I created an 11.5-inch diameter circle to represent how I would cut the wood grain vinyl, and then created a text box to type the word welcome using the font Honeyday that I got off defont.com. I sized this font to my liking, almost the width of the circle, and then created a curved rectangular piece to serve as background to my text. I chose to have my text fully surrounded by this shape, but if you like the look of the text going over the shape, just adjust the size accordingly. I created this curved rectangle by creating another 11.5-inch circle and a 12 by 4.12-inch rectangle to overlap the second circle. I next selected both the rectangle and the circle, aligned them at the center, and then selected the slice button. I did this to create the curved edge rectangular piece that will lie at the center of my sign. I deleted the extra shapes, and then I was ready to have my Cricut do its thing. I cut the circle using the wood grain contact paper, the rounded rectangle using my black removable vinyl, and the text using my white removable vinyl. While I was at it, I decided to make a second cutout of each of these shapes for a similar sign to make in the future. After the cutting and weeding was complete, I applied the text to the rectangle to the circle, and the circle to the pan. However, in the future, I think I will apply the circle to the pan first, and then we'll add the subsequent layers from there, making sure to smooth out air bubbles as I go. The method I ended up using made it a little bit more difficult to have the bubbles be removed. One trick I used when transferring the designs was to get my vinyl in the location I wanted, secure it with some removable tape, and remove one end of the backing. Once that small portion was attached, I removed the rest of the backing and attached the remaining part of the vinyl. Doing the transfer this way makes it easier to have everything aligned the way I planned. I used this technique for just about every transfer. After the vinyl was secured to the pan, I used E6000 and hot glue to attach the decorative nautical rope around the edge of the pan. I started at the top of the pan, looping around twice, and ended up with a small amount of remaining rope at the top of the pan where I started. We will secure this piece down in a second. And it is worth noting that I secured my vinyl to the back side of the pizza pan. So if you were to make pizza, it would be on the other side. Then I moved on to assemble my florals. I had 2 orange stems and 2 white ones. Once I got them spaced out to my liking, I used some clear contact paper to wrap around the floral stems to just kind of hold them in place a little bit better. I centered this piece at the top of the sign and looped over the remaining decorative nautical rope and hot glued it to the back of the sign. Next, I clipped on 2 of the fall pumpkins to the floral pieces and hot glued 3 little pine cones I had on hand to the front of the sign. I secured this also with some E6000. Although the final product didn't turn out as symmetrical as I had planned, I think it still looks great. I had planned on adding a thicker golden bow to the sign, but I couldn't end up finding my ribbon since we recently moved, and I thought that this black and white ribbon that I had on hand would work well with the colors of the sign. So I created a bow by cutting 2 long pieces, 1 medium-sized piece, 2 small pieces, and 1 extra small piece, using up all of the ribbon in my little roll. With the 2 larger pieces and the medium piece, I placed some hot glue in the center and folded in the ends, securing them to the hot glue. I took the resulting loops and created an X with the larger ones and secured the medium loop in the center. Then I hot glued the small ribbons to the back of my newly formed bow and looped the extra small ribbon around everything to finish off the look. I used this technique rather than trying to use non-cut ribbon and just kind of looping it on itself, because I just kind of felt like it gave it a more perfect look. Whereas when I was trying the other way, it just was a mess and it just didn't look good. I used one of the clips from the fall pumpkins to attach the bow to the rope on the sign, and then all that was left was to figure out how I was going to hang the sign. I decided to use some of the fall-themed garland to do this. I looped the garland under the secured nautical rope and twisted the ends together so that it was secure. Depending on how much of the garland you want to show, you can make this loop as large or as small as you like. I am really happy with how this craft turned out, and I hope you are too. My mom obviously did because she kind of claimed it. If you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I will catch you in the next one.